There's also the Common Core little controversy.
Oh,
Ooh,
Jesus,
look out!
I know.
Look out!
But good for Lily, man, because now people are paying
though.
attention.
People really are amazing at their defense of something that, first of all, is so new and has proven imperfections in it.
Everything
but
does.
They just
it's education.
Wanna, right. But they really just want to dig in and this is the new great thing.
Right.
And as a parent, you are seeing something not so good about them.
Yeah, and when people get that way, often when you look at their... Like, I don't mix it up online, and I don't go on Twitter and mix it up with folks.
Yeah.
I'm amazed at people like yourself.
Oh, I will fucking... I am the worst.
Who will take someone who has 4 followers
Yes.
and just make them a star.
To me, it's a means to an end.
Right.
I need to get my word out there, but I need someone to ask me why that should be.
But you do it every day here.
Well, I know.
You get your word out.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I have a microphone. I have the world's ear.
Yeah.
By the way, how old is your daughter? That was her homework.
9 years old. I have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Louis showed one of the pictures of the question,
I loved it,
and I
yeah.
looked at it, and I actually got the answer, and I was proud of myself. I'm
A lot
just
of
realizing
people-
she was a kid.
3rd grade.
Yeah, and I felt good
Great.
about it.
A lot of people write, what's the big deal? Number's 3. Answer's 3. Right. Answer's 3. Give me another one.
35.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Give me another one.
Yeah. They don't get the point. But,
yeah.
No, it's been a hassle for... I mean, what made me do anything about it was that, at school they've tried to organize some, rallies and stuff to get... It's a real problem for our school. So the principal, wrote letters to the parents saying, please help us to, get the word out about this.
Right.
Because what happened was there was a principal at a Brooklyn school. I forget her name or the school, but she said these tests, the English tests, not the math ones, the ELA test, she said it's unbelievably over the top. The answers are unanswerable. The questions are unanswerable. And then so the people, the standardized testing people and the DOE, the Department of Education, said, well, she's the only one. She's the only one who thinks that. She's an anomaly. So all the other principals said, no, we all feel this way. So there was actually a need to get the word out that it's to have some unanimity and say it's not one person.
Right.
So, and my daughter, my 12-year-old, wrote a letter just on her own. I asked her, she was writing something. I said, what are you writing? She said, I'm writing a letter to the Department of Education about the testing because she hates it. Because she wants to learn shit. She's a devoted student. So I thought, well, geez, my daughter's fucking doing something, so I should do something I'm capable of doing, which is just write this one little tweet. I just was going to write one.
That's all.
But then you put something that inflammatory out there,
right? And
then people they come after you. So because it was something that meant something, I had to try to clarify it through more tweets and then put these pages out there. And then defend that, and it kind of got crazy.
Yes, it does snowball.
Yeah.
You said something like the thing you hate about Twitter is you say something and then someone responds and then a bunch of people attack them. The thing you hate about Twitter is exactly what I love about it.
I know. Yeah, some guy wrote, you shouldn't be commenting about this because you're not an expert. So, which is a very touchy issue with this whole thing.
Right.
Which is that people that are experts think they should make policy, and everyone should not only accept the policy, but don't
even question
it.
Right?
Don't even say what's so. Isn't everything helped by dialogue? Isn't absolutely everything helped by information? Like we all must be the thing of which we do not speak. This idea that there's a cloak over it. Don't quiet.
Right.
Common Core is it's trying to work. Don't say anything about it.
And you being a parent makes you...
Well, I'm the end user.
You're the end user, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in a very important way, it's fucking children's education.
Yeah.
And I don't have some power to say this has to go, and I didn't even say this has to go. I said, we're struggling. Mm-hmm. We're struggling. So... often very young people that don't look like they have kids that have, around usually 1,200 Twitter followers.
Yeah.
Because they have a blog somewhere. They go, the guy goes, you should not be talking.
Oh.
And all I wrote back was, I have two children in a public school in a state where testing is an issue. So I don't need your permission to comment. It wasn't even really hitting back.
It's affecting you
But
directly.
then there's just this rain of shit. Just people going, you're fucking asshole, cocksucker,
faggot,
you suck a bag of dicks, fuck you. And it's embarrassing and it's tough to take.
Yeah.
And your daughter's just frustrated because she really wants to learn, and the testing just gets in the way constantly.
You
right?
spend like 6 months preparing for the thing, and then the test is 3 days. 3 days of testing, like she's trying to get it to pass the bar exam.
Amazing.
And none of it is teaching her anything.
You're
Nothing's
not
going in.
anything.
Right, of course.
What is it, like memorization of... You're not really learning anything.
Well, I mean, it's a tricky thing because they changed this. I don't know. I've learned a lot about it enough to know that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's very tricky. It's a very tricky issue.
Yeah,
but I do think it's way out of whack right now, and it depends on where you are.
Right.
In some states, they roll out Common Core. In other words, they use the tests that use Common Core language, and the importance of the tests, like they start young so that a new generation of students is being taught this, and then it moves with them and every year behind them. But here in New York, they just adopted Common Core for everybody all at once. So all of a sudden, kids that are being taught the old way have to pass a test with the new criteria the next year. And everybody flunked, like New York State did very badly because they... we're going to.
Right.
And there's people that think more nefarious things are going on. That Bill Gates and the people at Pearson who published the tests wanted Common Core to fail so that they could step in.
It's obviously a conspiracy.
Yeah, that's the way some people think of it. I don't think of it that way. I think I start with the premise that everybody's trying to do their best effort, but that's not always a good thing either. You know?
Yeah.
Bill Gates brought education to many countries in Africa and wherever else.
Sure, yeah.
Places that didn't have any schools, and he just built schools. Gave them computers and windows and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Scumbag.
Yeah, exactly. He's devoted most of his life to philanthropy. And so he's gone to countries and given education to whole countries that didn't have any schools. That's
you're like the first person to give $1 billion to charities.
Yeah,
like
him and Warren Buffett are
dollars.
both. They have the whole thing about, and it's great. Yeah. But then I think and this is total unsupported conjecture. It's what I've heard people say, is that he wanted to do it here, but there's already the schools. There are schools here. Like it's not a rubble here.
Right.
So he's frustrated. Because in order to affect change in America, you have to go slow, get your hands dirty. You have to really talk to people that feel like they are entitled to a certain level. So the idea was change standardized testing like all at once to say, here's what you have to know. Everybody fails, and then you can say the schools aren't working. So
right.
I'll come in and save the day.
I got a good idea.
But I don't believe that's true. But I believe there's elements of that in there. I mean, from working in movies. The first step of when a movie gets handed in by a director, the first thing they want to say is it's bad, so that they can now help fix it. But you have to say something's bad,
right,
in order to fix it. So you make a test. You go, how do you evaluate it? I'm going to make a test where everybody has to guess what color I'm thinking of, and if they can't do it, they all flunk. And then that's like the worst version of it that I don't believe in.
Right.
But that's how crazy an issue it is. Some people think that's what's going on, and that then Pearson is making a bunch of money by writing tests. But somebody's always made money writing tests.
How's the homework? Because my kids are a few years behind yours. I'm panicking. How much homework am I going to have to deal with?
Well, homework is a good I mean, I hope my kids are challenged by school. I hope homework's hard. But I hope everything they do is harder than what they're capable of. Right. That's how you get good at shit.
Right.
The idea that homework and tests is supposed to be a way for a kid to feel like they're really smart, then they're going to stay at a fucking stupid, self-congratulatory third grade level until they're fucking...
I don't know.
Yeah. It's not... It should be really hard. It should be too hard, and it should be hard as a parent to sit with your kid and get them to their homework.
But remember, when we were growing up, maybe you got an hour and a half.
Call it... Why not? Why doesn't
it? Because they should be learning a lot at school.
Homework is more important.
I'm being selfish because I got, my siblings all have.
Just don't want to
my siblings all have older kids, and they call me and they're like, "We're doing their fucking homework every night."
Yeah,
we're now part-time teachers because we have to work, work them through all this shit.
Well, the thing you should be doing, you shouldn't help them figure it out, but you keep the thing you can do for your kid if you're nice is keep them company while they're having to do it. It's hard to sit there by yourself, and after a while, the kid is literally laying on her back, looking at the ceiling and moaning. She can't fucking do it. And when it gets that, and I'm trying to make dinner, and she's doing that, and when it gets that bad, I go and sit next to her and just keep going. Come on, and maybe read it out loud with her. And that's how this started, because I'm reading this thing. I'm like, look, honey, you just have to look at don't think of the whole big thing here. Do one problem. Okay, what does this problem say? And I read it, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? That makes no sense. That makes no... And I'm like, are they teaching you this? She goes, no, they just put it on test prep. They crunch test prep so you can sort of learn how to answer these questions. Jesus. And they're poorly written questions. They're not intuitive. They're not empathetic.
Right.
In order to teach a third grader, you need to understand how a third grader thinks. You can't just be some academic somewhere who says, this is a very appropriate pattern of thinking for a young mind. You have to go, I know a third grader named Evan, and he probably would never fucking get this. So if you're trying to bring a kid to a new idea, give him a path. Don't just stick the new idea in some other language.
Yeah.
And go, if you don't get this, then fuck you and fuck your stupid teacher.
Got it. Definitely got it.
Well, it's like I always say, you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man a fish, he eats forever. Back to